Hi, everyone. I'm super happy to be here today and to actually be able to talk to you and tell you about my journey with the FSFE. A journey which began in 2022 when, together with the Free Software Lab of Neutech Park, I took on the role as Deputy Coordinator Italy for the FSFE. And we started designing this project. It was a really exciting time, and I approached it with a lot of curiosity, and I was thinking, who will I meet? How will this community be like? And what will happen if I'm not really a tech expert? And in today's talk, I just want to share with you my findings, how I got to know this community, and what I discovered while getting to know the community. And in order to do this, I will be using a framework which is really dear to my heart, and maybe some of you also heard it, and it's called design thinking. Design thinking is not only a unique method of innovation, but I think it's also a great way for mapping a story and doing a storytelling. So design thinking begins with the problem space. And in fact, that's also how my getting to know the free software community started, in the understanding and observing phase. So in order to actually do this, I used 3 different methods of observation. Interviews, then I also did some immersion, and then some real observations. Everything was done by using empathy, because that's the key of design thinking. Design thinking, it's all about human-centered innovation, so you really think about the user and try to feel what the user feels, going beyond intellectual understanding. The first thing I did, as I said, was the interviews, so I really spent a lot of time on the phone, talking to volunteers, and then going to events, trying to really understand what they were doing, and mapping all the associations that you can find on the territory. And here you can see just a few of them. Those are the main ones, but there were also smaller ones, and those are the ones that I interacted with the most. And my main observation here is that there are a lot of associations out there in Italy. Really, the territory is full, reaching volunteers, and everyone is so active. And yeah, that's wonderful, and I'm so thankful for this. As I said, the second method that I used was observation. Observation for me meant going to events and actually trying to observe the community. And when I could not go to the event, I asked my friends to send me the videos of what they did. And here you can see Valerio. He's standing in front of an invention, and the invention is a Tesla coil, which someone built. And then they use this Tesla coil to play the music that you hear in the background. And in the background of Valerio, you can also see how they synced the Tesla coil and the music, also with a flamethrower. Yes, this might be a bit dangerous, but for me, the observation is that it's also showing how the community pushes the boundaries, pushes the limits, and is so curious. When I spoke to Valerio about this, he told me, I got to the event venue and I didn't even know what a Tesla coil was, but I just tried. And then the amazing thing came up. So for me, this community is super open-minded, super like pushing the boundaries, curious to learn, and I think that's an amazing characteristic. Again, I told you I used immersion as a methodology for researching about it. And in fact, I started to use free software tools in my work and also in my daily life. And I was amazed again to find out how well they work. And I mean, all of you now managed to sign up for this conference, right? So you also could see that. Yeah, and another way that I used was to feel what they feel, was to do what they do. And this video was taken from an event, FOSDEM 2023, where some volunteers taught me how to throw an X. And yeah, it might seem a bit silly, but for me this just represents the spirit that the community has towards inclusion. For example, Free Software Women Group, they do the same. When I attend their meetings, they ask me, Marta, what do you want to learn about free software today? And in the same spirit, other volunteers that are here in this room today always ask me, what do you need? How can I help you to really install free software on your laptop and so on? Okay, now we can get to the juicy part of design thinking, which is the definition of the point of view. In order to do that, normally designers try to understand and make meaning, and in order to do that, they use sentences like, I wonder what this means. Or they say something like, I was amazed to realize, or it would be life-changing if. Or some other designers like to draw a map, like the one that you see here, and this can be also part of systemic thinking. So in this map, you can see many actors that are interconnected with each other, and you can also see the values that they have. Their power play comes into action here. The connections that they have with other parts of society, which is like really important. And for me, the findings that I could draw, besides what I already told you, is that in Italy there are so many associations active on the territory, and there are so many different kinds of volunteers. Some of them are mothers, others are fathers, others are students, other professionals, but everybody has one thing in common. And the thing is that everybody is deeply connected to free software, and they also have a natural towards inclusivity and towards being open-minded and also being curious about what they do and putting so much passion and so much hard work. In design, we like to transform our observations into a question that can actually help us to reframe this challenge. We call it a challenge. And so for me, the question, by working with the FSFE and the Free Software Lab of Neutech Park, was how might we support this community of volunteers, and how might we empower them to actually spread their voice even louder so that more people can hear about what they do. And with this question in mind, we entered the solution space. The solution space in design thinking is composed of three main phases. The first one is ideation, and it's the most fun one because you just throw ideas in the air. The second one is prototyping, when you build something, and finally it's the testing phase. We started by going into the ideation together with association, volunteers, heads, many different organizations. And as I said, we were welcoming many, many ideas. And we finally came up with a few prototypes. I will just show you very few of them here. The first one is the one that we created together with the EduLife Foundation and the ETS Academy last, when we decided to bring free software into the schools. So the students of the ETS Academy last are actually learning about free software because the FSFE is helping to actually teach them about free software. And they incorporated it into their academic programs, so I think that's amazing. Another one was this format, which we call Educating Young Generation about free software. And the center of this format is a book, the one from Matthias Kirchner, Ada and Zangeman. And we just basically built a toolkit where we empower volunteers to be able to read the book in a fun way, and then at the same time also follow the reading with a recreational activity, so that they can actually interact with the younger generations. Because one of the wicked problems that we realized is out there is that young people don't want to volunteer anymore, and sometimes they are not aware of very important topics. Okay, I don't want to take up more space because the testing phase will be told tomorrow at the Italian community meeting. So I really invite all of you to come tomorrow at the Italian community meeting at 10:30 in Seminar 3. And there you will be able to actually learn and hear from the volunteers who put into practice all the projects that I just illustrated and many others. And they will just tell their stories. Yeah. So I invite all of you there, and I'm just going to say goodbye with this sentence, which I think really fits and represents the talk that I had today. So many small people in many small places do many small things that can alter the face of the world. Thank you.
So we have Quite some time left, so there is any question in the room? Not so, but I would like to... Ah, yes, sure. Microphone, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi. I am part of the FSFE volunteering community, and I can confirm that Marta calls all of us, keeps in touch with all of us with an enthusiasm that it's incredible. But now it's time for you to answer to a question. So I would like for you to think in the best possible outcome and also in the most realistic one. What do you think is the future of the Italian free software community, and how do you think we can get there?
Thank you, Tommy. Wow, that's a really hard question that you asked out there. But I think the future is obviously very prosperous because there are so many associations and so many volunteers out there. So the idea for me would be that everyone can cooperate together for this common cause and organize many more initiatives, and we can really become so big with a united voice that everybody is going to actually hear us, and the public administrations will use free software and many other parts of Italy in general.
Here we have other questions. So maybe him first. Yes, you can go first.
All right.
We have 3 minutes.
Yeah, sure, that should be enough. So, quite a few years ago, there used to be a lot of these small associations, right? Like 15 years ago, you had a Linux user group in every city. Some even had 2 or more. And for quite a few years, they pretty much died out. Now every region has 1, maybe 2. But it seems to me that there seems to be some kind of resurgence of these small communities. They're being reborn, sort of. Some are getting refounded, some are getting, alive again. Maybe new ones are taking their place in more cities. So, my question to you is: does your experience match this trend? Do you also see this? And if so, why do you think that is?
Thank you for the question. Yes, my experience matches the trend. And to be honest, I was before having lunch with the president of the Italian Linux Society, and we were counting how many LUGs are out there. And it is true that there are a lot. We counted around 105, right, Valerio? Yeah, okay. And the reason why people are starting to actually speak up, I cannot answer, but I think it's because people are actually getting interested into what is happening into the world, and they start to inform themselves and therefore to act. And I hope that they will also be able to follow more of the campaigns that also the FSFE is bringing forward across Europe and replicate them in Italy and in all the other European states.
I just want to add that from my point of view, let's say I'm in the Linux user group of Terni, and thanks Marta to have put our logo over there.
Thank you.
I was moved. Trust me, I was moved. Anyway, we had a rebirth in 2006, and then at the moment, let's say that I'm the most active member. But the problem for most of all these realities are we didn't have new members, we don't have young people joining. That's a real problem. And what I wanted to ask to you, but the time is over,
There was about 40 seconds.
Yeah, let's say that for example, I'm skilled on technical things and some such as that. But the problem for me, for example, is if I want to organize something and I have to call public administrations, I don't have time to do that, and not the right skills or how to say, the patience also. So maybe a collaboration on this side. So having someone else contacting the people, preparing the road, and then I or people like me go there and find all the things set up and ready to do what has to be done.
Yeah.
That would be a great thing from my point of view.
Thank you, Gabriele. I just want to quickly answer. Can I?
Yeah.
By saying that, yes, we are already working on that, and we already did it. My colleague Dario, who is sitting there next to you, he prepared a toolkit for the Public Money, Public Code campaign during the election period, where you could send a letter to everyone, and so you already have the tools, and that's also what we did with Yada and Zangeman format. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Marta.